times. So that should be good. Let's see. What is today's daily? Sword skill, easy. I'm gonna go do this relic quest one too. I'm close to having 999. I'm gonna go here and do the relic quest for the green stone, and then I'll go do another relic quest. And then I just felt tired, so I took a nap, and I didn't even get up till about 4 or 5. So I definitely messed out on some levels, because let's see, he's at 826. Yeah, I could have had him over 850 today. I could have finished it this weekend, but I think now with how much time I've already kind of wasted, I don't think I have enough time to max it. It's always cool to see the like those things, those crystals from story mode, still have like that glow to them. But hang on just a second, let me copy something real quick. So let's see this. Let me go put this here. I don't know if I'll do streaming in Holofragment again, because I've already platted the game, so there's not anything for me to do except if I wanted to do all the implementations, which, oh boy, Shadow Greaves are gonna suck. Or if I wanted to do the 100th floor dungeon, because I never did that. Well, I never completed it, I should say. That would be something I could technically stream for that game. So there's one relic quest down. And then the next one, I usually just go up here to Ruled. And I go do this one right over here-ish. The one with the boar. I'm still being targeted? Might as well kill you too. Alright, let's go up here and get his. I think he gives like is it Silverstone? It's something. I can't remember. Go and grab that from him. But I think with these 3 quests I have right now, if I do them, I should be in 980s maybe? I'm gonna do them and then I'm gonna check, but I don't know if I can since they're streaming. I might not be able to connect to the cube. Hey Infinity, what's up? Just mostly gonna be doing my apostle level and then just chatting in general. Snow Silver, that's what it was. For that quest, the daily relic quest, I just go do the one for the green stone and then I just do this one. I don't need the Snow Silver, but I just come to this one for some reason. So sword skills and then guarding, who could I guard against easy? Easy to guard against, and I won't have to worry about dying. Okay, yeah, I did turn that in, okay. Maybe I'll go to a raid or something and see. Yeah. Just chilling. I think, Unleash shut down? Or if it's supposed to represent that maybe she's gonna go to the new game. I don't know. It's a lot it could mean. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it, but that's what I was thinking whenever I saw it. Very sad to see. But honestly, even if it wasn't shutting down right now, I think it would shut down soon after Variant Showdown's release, because everybody's going to go to Variant Showdown. So let's see, Supreme. Where could I go? I could go to East, cause yeah, I could go to East, cause I can leave anytime. Yeah, that'd be better. What? What do you mean? What? What for? What part? Alright, turtle. At least you won't kill me because of high vitality. And I don't have a lot of agility. What's shutting down? The mobile game, Unleash Blading for SAO. I thought you heard about that. But yeah, it's shutting down. It's about to. Well, not about to, but it's shutting down January 16th, I think they said. And they just went to, and now they have their final banner. They have their final banner. I think they're doing one final event ranking, one final event story. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I didn't play the game heavy, but it does suck to see it go, because I kind of liked it. I did like the look of like the battles and all that. But rip the people who wailed up in it. That's it always happens with the SAO games. Well, for the mobiles. I mean, only 2 of them have been shut down so far out of the 3 currently, but still. Memory Defrag lasted 4 years, and then Unleashed Blading is about 4 years. There we go. Cleared that. Meanwhile, Integral Factor is still standing. I wish it wasn't. Like, Integral Factor is... I just didn't like it. I guess it's mostly because I'm used to, like, gacha games being you usually... You know, in a gacha game, you usually play that character. But in Integral Factor, you play your own character. Which is alright, but... And another thing to me is, like, it's... Integral Factor has all the floors. Which... We don't have an SAO game on console doesn't have floors. So I feel like that should have been a console thing. Oh, you don't really follow some SAO stuff? I understand that. Only reason I found out about it was because I logged in. Well, no, I think I saw a dude on the Discord server talking about it was going into shop maintenance, which means that there's typically going to be a shutdown. And then, like, I think the next day, I checked the news inside the game, and that's when they said that they were gonna shut it down. Okay, so now we just need to do land sword skills. We can do that over at the fish. But yeah, that's what's happening with that. And then Variant Showdown is like, I want to say December 20th something, or like a little bit before. I think it's like 13th or so. I can't remember. It's in December. I think it's like early December. I'm excited for it, but I have not watched any gameplay of it since the very first trailer. So I'm staying away from all that stuff for it. I just want to see it whenever I get on there. I'm wondering how the auto battle system is going to go up in it. Because I think it's the type of game where you actually move your character and stuff in fights, and you switch and all that. I can already tell the rates are probably going to be garbage. Oh my god, gacha rates for SAO games are just always garbage. Even like for AL, for example, with the cube. It's so bad. You can use straight 100 tickets and not even get a gold, or probably you'll get a silver, I'm pretty sure, but you most likely won't get a gold. Thoughts on the new SAO game after AO? Last Recollection, very excited for, because it's a big step for the SAO console games in terms of quality, and the fact that it's a PS5 title as well. So everybody that was wanting a next gen for AL, well, I mean, you're getting it in Last Recollection. So the only thing about it is, I'm assuming most of the combat and everything is going to be the same as AL, since it's basically a sequel, and there's no point in changing everything fully. Now, I do believe that they'll change some things, but I don't think it's going to be like major. I do hope that they make Sacred Arts better. I hope they make Finish Arts better. And I hope they don't have one build that just knocks every other build out of the game. Because I remember when AL was starting and we were doing extreme raids, that was the moment where in the game tanks were being used. Tanks were actually being used back then. I remember doing extreme raids, I think all the way up till maybe west or south, with Liz as my tank. And then I remember during story mode, you know, taking a healer, making a healer build. It was fun, but you know, a bunch of stuff gets just knocked out. So I do hope they, you know, balance the game build wise. And then, of course, like I said, the Sacred Art, Finish Art, just that kind of stuff, you know? But very excited for it. Like I said, I got a PS5 for it, so only thing I really hope they about with some friends like Yuta and them is I'm wondering because I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to carry over our gear. But I wonder if we maybe would be able to carry over cube items or if the game will even have a cube. And another thing was I was hoping it would kind of do a certain thing like HR did, where if you've played Lost Song or Holofragment, then you get like I think you get 3 items for free up in HR. You get like a necklace, a sword, and a rapier. And they weren't like terribly OP, but they were nice to start off with. So I would hope it does that. Like it sees you have an AL save, and maybe you get like, a starting armor, a starting accessory, and then maybe like a starting weapon type. That'd be kind of cool. And then of course I would love for to have the palette menu system come back, but that most likely will not. If we get a palette system, that's going to be so OP. Even though we're still going to have buff caps and everything. But let me see if I can check my cube tickets. I don't know if I will since it's mostly live streaming right now. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about so far for the next game. What about you? What do you think? Deals aren't going to be balanced if the down system is still in the game, and if the boss is one shot anyway, what's the point? Well, technically and practically every game you could be one shot. It's just that you cheese everything with certain skills. Like for example in AL, God Robe, Heavenly Aegis, and Hollow Fragment. Hyper Armor, and then there was another skill that was exactly like Hyper Armor for you and your teammate. I forgot what the name was. HR, it completely doesn't even matter. You're stupidly OP in that game. Lost Song doesn't have much, to be honest. AW versus SAO doesn't have much, to be honest. Fatal Bullet, yeah, you can be one shot, I believe. I don't know much about Fatal Bullet, so I could be wrong, but to me, you can be one shot if you're not using the pistol weapon art with the hyper awareness, or even if you're probably defense stacking. But I could be wrong about Fatal Bullet. I don't know. But I mean, there's tons of games where you can be one shot by bosses. It's nothing different. A boss should be strong. Now the down system, yeah, if the down system is there, then technically, yeah, it would knock other builds out of the park. But what they can do is not have incarnations. If we don't have incarnations, then that basically makes it completely balanced. Because yeah, some sword skills will still have their down bonus, but you're not gonna have something stupidly OP like the incarnation. A simple fix, simple. Just take out the incarnation. It would suck for boss battles though. That's for sure. If they're like real tanky, like how Extreme was back when it first released for us, when we only had level 50 and +5 gear, yeah, it will suck. But to me, that's fun because that's how a raid should be. 983, okay, so we're close to 999. Only thing you want is better weapon balance. That is gonna be your better weapon balance technically, is take out the down incarnation. For AL, if we did not have down incarnation, then A lot of the stuff wouldn't be OP, but there are still some weapons that will be OP even without it, like dual wield, because it's two weapons. Dual wield is always going to be OP. There is never going to be a balance for dual wield. Most likely, there will never be. And like how two hand has Sky Dancer now, that's another thing that's really OP. And then of course bow. Like out of anything that needs balance, it's bow. That thing has sucked ever since the nerf for fixed peer way back in the day. And they never gave it anything good. It never got really good. That's the one thing. It never even got any more sword skills. Like, come on, for the same four sword skills, and you only mainly use two of them. It's the same for other weapons. You mainly only use two for downing, but bow is just heavily restricted. Another thing I hope for balance is make the accuracy requirements the same for every weapon. Don't make it to where one weapon needs lower accuracy or one weapon needs higher accuracy. Don't do that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I hope they balance that. How would you still level up now that the old way has been patched? Play through DLC 2. Literally. You can play through the whole thing, or what you can do is start up a playthrough, and then when you fight those boars in like floor 20, I think, as Kirito, kill them, and then once it's about to switch to Asuna or something, then just abandon, and then do it again. I think you can do that, or you can do like the stuff for floor 10, but I think that's probably a way you can do right now, since the other method's been patched. Bow was your main to the first DLC where you went to dual wield. I was when I first started the game, I mained one hand. I used some of the other weapons here and there to just see how they were and everything, but I mained one hand, and once I got dual wield, I mained that. I've always been a dual wield main for every SAO game. And then even some of the changes in this game, when I first played, I didn't like them. Like, for example, one hand for snakebite. That used to be an AoE. It's not anymore. A lot of stuff has changed ever since, if you go through Hollow Fragment, if you go through Hollow Realization, if you played those, you'll see the changes. Also Nightmare Rain being changed when I first started, and the hit counter for it. And then another thing back when the game was first coming out that really had me skeptical about it was how they had the equipment system and the skill system. And what I mean by that is basically no palette mode, and you have less equipment slots. That's the biggest thing. The biggest change for me to get used to. Because you don't have two ring slots, you don't have a charm, well, yeah, you don't have a charm slot. You don't have all that stuff like the other two. Then HR, literally in HR, the most important place you would even use your AI is 1000 floor, because you need them to heal. When a new game comes out, you want to be a dagger and scythe main? Dude, I want to be a scythe main too. I really do. I can't wait for the scythe. I hope they bring back some other weapons too. Like the two-handed axe. I mean, the two-handed axe, I can understand if they don't, because it's basically just two-hand, except a different skin and some different looking skills. But I hope they bring back scimitar as well. I hope Dancing Hellraiser would be AoE and just as fun as it was in HR. But yeah, even Eclipse. I would love to see Eclipse come back for dual wield, but I don't think it's going to. If it does, they would probably make it a finishing move. It would make much more sense for it to be a finishing move. You know, do a little short cutscene with it or something, and then just have it at the end of the cutscene. It does all its hits. They can make it like where he like swings a couple times, and then when you come out the cutscene, it just makes like a circular like slashes of blades on the enemy, kind of like how it was in AW versus SAO with Black Lotus. Her Eclipse, I think it was just like that. She would make like this orb, and she would attack up inside of it. That would be cool for Eclipse to be a finisher like that. Oh, and another thing too, they're over here showing Cardinal and stuff up in the trailers. Make that girl useful. Make her do something. Make it to where we can even put gear on her. I get so sad to see up in this game. She can't be used at all. Her and Selka, they're useless. There's literally no point to their character other than just get basically their persona and anima just to have. But I'll try all the weapons up in the new game for sure. It's gonna suck getting them at max proficiency. I hope the AI's proficiency and star mastery works the same way it does up in this game. That'll make it at least easier. But yeah, I do want to be a scythe main because as soon as the game comes out, and if there's a vendor or even a chest that has a scythe early on, I'm getting it to play it. But yeah, if you're gonna honestly, if you're gonna expect the game to be like easier, like the boss is not one-shotting you, they probably won't one-shot you, but if they got combo moves, yeah, it's gonna kill you. Don't expect that. Like, don't expect not to be killed by a boss. But like the weapon balance and stuff, then yeah, I would say expect that the most. Just expect the balance for the weapons. You know, expect that the most. Don't. I wouldn't care about anything else, honestly. Because that's pretty much what killed a lot of the stuff for players for AL is having to use certain weapons back then, and even now, you know, having to use certain weapons, kinda. And please give us all 5-star gears, please. Man, it feels so incomplete to not have all 5-star gears up in this game. I don't see why they couldn't just make some for us whenever they added the 5-star accessory. But like I'm saying, I'm excited for it. At the same time, I'm also not because I was hoping to get a break from, you know, SAO for a while after AL. I spent so much time on AL, and I was not expecting another SAO game this soon. So, like I said, I'm excited because it's a huge change and all that. Got the scythe, you know, all of that. But I just want a break, man. I just want a break. Still no passives. Out of all my levels from 500 till now, I've only gotten one of those belts with the passive. And hopefully they'll learn from a bunch of the stuff they did up in AL. Hopefully they learn not to do that up in the next game. I really hope they do. Because I bet you, first thing people are going to try to do when that game comes out, they're going to try to do the dupe glitch. They're going to try to see if there's a crafting glitch. They're going to try to do a dupe glitch. I bet you. And I hope they don't have it. Oh, and then another thing too, like whenever I was saying I just wanted a break, I was planning on doing some other stuff for the SAO games to make some videos for them, but now it's going to be probably Last Recollection. And then after that's done, then I'll probably go back and do those other ones. Or maybe like in between stuff for Last Recollection, I'll go and do some of the other ones. I could probably do that. Still gotta finish my AOT Inferno mode and then do a bunch of the videos for that. One thing I also hope to is whenever like the game is coming out for Last Recollection and you can do like your pre-order and stuff, I hope they have it to where you can already download the game and then it's just locked until the day of release, you know? I hope we have that because my internet is not good and that game easily is going to be a lot of gigabytes. And I don't want to have to sit here and wait, you know? So I hope we can do that, pre-install. I think a lot of the pre-order games need to start doing that now. Just let us pre-install it and then lock it. Just all something mass crafting. Yeah, that would be a quality of life change. Instead of just doing it one by one and then having to scroll back down to it, mass crafting, yeah. Mass crafting and then also make it to where it remembers where your cursor was if you're like buying a bunch of something or, well, not buying, but if you're crafting as well. Because you know, if you craft food, you know, you can obviously only craft one, and then after you do that, you gotta scroll back down to it. Hopefully they do that. You know, it remembers your cursor, and then you can just, you know, mass craft. Yeah, that's something right there. And then another big thing, this is the biggest thing, honestly, to me. A storage chest. Please. This game was suffering before storage chests. Especially back on release, whenever your whole like your frames, your loading and all that, they were dependent on your items. Like if you had a bunch of items, like your inventory and all that stuff is going to take a while to just load up in the menu. And the Wayfarer system, like Wayfarer multiplayer system, I hope they change as well, because they really need to make it to where the game system like scans your character and all your items, and if it sees anything that's over the normal value, they just like either ban that person from multiplayer or do something, because don't want to be running us any modders. Either do something like that or make it to where Or make it to where, what was it I was just thinking of? Dang, I was just thinking of something. I can't remember what it was, and all that was in HR. I never saw it myself, but from what I've heard, they marked their name or something. And I think somebody said it showed their real name or something like that. I don't remember. I've never seen it. But I hope they do something against them for sure. Like I said long ago, whenever I saw the Wayfair system, it was very sketch because I already knew there was going to be modders eventually. But I'm really glad they didn't make it to where you could actually like search somebody's Wayfair or their gamer tag, and then you can add their Wayfair immediately. I'm glad they didn't do that. You don't do multiplayer in SAO? I didn't either till AL. Only reason I did multiplayer in AL was because raids. All the other SAO games, I solo. I soloed them. Sometimes I would like play with some people that I met in like a group or something like that, or just like do some random online, but strictly mainly solo. Because there was no point to go online to the other games to me. Till AL. And I'm actually glad I did get into multiplayer for AL, but at the same time not, because I met good people, but I've mostly met bad people in the community. Going through the life cycle of this game with multiplayer and just seeing people, it's honestly made me hate a majority of the West region. I do not really like West region players. And it's very sad to say that. Did every raid solo? That's very good. Very, very good. And it's also good just doing it solo because you won't have to depend on anybody. You can just do it whenever you want. And you won't have to worry about load times too, or like sync. Your mindset, if you can't do a solo, then you couldn't do it at all. That makes sense. So like if you get to a part that you can't do it first, do you like try to look up how you can do it or just try different things on your own? And then if you to see like if you can get past it, is that what you do? Yeah. That's how I was before I started getting into multiplayer for this. I'm kind of glad I actually did start doing multiplayer and stuff, because back during extreme raids, yeah, there I was not gonna be doing that solo, because that was before I even knew about the build. And honestly, if I didn't get into multiplayer then, I probably would have stopped. Stopped playing the game right then until, you know, the Apostles came out or something. I probably would have. Or I just would wait until like there was a video of like, you know, how someone beat it. That's what I would end up doing. Because typically I'll play a game. If I'm getting to a part where I don't know what to do or something like that, like if it's for maybe like a side quest looking for something or something like that, I'll look up how to do it after I've already tried. And to be honest, I don't know if I didn't put this much time into AL, like if I wasn't